So good afternoon, everyone. Last week we started with unit number 3, technical communication, and today we're going to deal with a topic from the same unit, which is known as group discussion. So if you take the two words, group and discussion, it's a group of people who are going to talk, okay? Who are going to discuss. So remember here we are talking about group discussion as a part of the selection process. The selection process means the process of interview. So actually, group discussion is a well-formulated tool for judging the candidates, right? It's a well-formulated tool for judging the candidates, and it also helps us to evaluate an individual's team playing skills. Why so? Because not necessarily every time when you sit for a group discussion, you are sitting with familiar people. There might be some people who are unknown to you, some people who are unfamiliar, right? Moreover, apart from that, how do you behave in a group along with highlighting your individual skills or traits is what people look at when they are seeing a group discussion. Remember, in a group discussion, the flow of the information should be smooth and interactive as well. So what is a group discussion? If you look at the term group discussion, it is made up of two words, group and discussion. Group means a collection of individuals who have come together and are in frequent touch with each other or do work to attain a common set of goals. Now, when you sit with an unknown group of people, the common set of goal over there is to get a chance for personal interview. Discussion is the process where two or more people are involved and they exchange their ideas, informations, and situation to achieve a solution to something which has been put in front of them. Next, so usually group discussion is a discussion where you exchange information, knowledge, you agree, you disagree, you lead to competition, or you lead to solution and resolutions. So what is the significance of a group discussion? A group discussion actually helps evaluate whether candidate is a correct fit for the organization or not. It helps to assess how a participant performs under different situations in a group. It is a tool to judge how one conceptualizes and maneuvers his ideas through the discussion. You know, how do you talk about a particular topic? It helps in shedding light on candidates' leadership skills, managerial skills, and creative thinking. So how do you think different from the rest in the group? How do you manage your thoughts? How do you put your thoughts up and down? How do you connect the thoughts that you have, etc. is also been checked over here. It also helps in analyzing the candidate's attitudes towards other teammates, right? There would be certain people you don't like, their thoughts are not in line or are not aligned with what your thoughts are. How do you work with such people? Please mark this as an important question, the structure of a group discussion. What's the structure of a group discussion? Please mark this as an important question, the structure of a group discussion. Remember, here you cannot change the chronology because it's a stepwise structure. So the first is entering a discussion. When you do a group discussion, you begin with the greetings, clearly stating the topic of discussion. Then comes the opening remarks. The opening should be strong and interesting. Then you have got comments where you give your own opinions about the topic and support your opinions with the help of facts and figures. And finally, you conclude. Conclude means you come to a common opinion in the group that this is how the group discussion would end, and this is what we all think in common. Usually in the conclusion, we do not include or introduce any new points. We just give a little summary about what the discussion was all about. So which one of these is a well-formulated tool for judging the candidates for interview purpose? You may type your answers in the chat box. right? You need to participate to get your attendance, right? So I'm giving you a few minutes to think about the question, and then you may type your answers in the chat box. So we've got two correct answers. The answer is group discussion. So group discussion is a part of the selection process. Kindly mark this as an important question from the exam point of view. Kindly mark this as important from the exam point of view. So introduction. Why do we have group discussions? Nowadays, group discussions have become an inseparable part of any interview process for selecting an appropriate employee. It also helps to seek admission to professional institutes, and it also has become a part for getting admission in higher education. So, what are the characteristics for a group discussion which has become a part of the selection process? The topic is given for discussion, and a group of 8 to 10 candidates is formed. Remember, these groups, when they are formed, these groups are leaderless groups, and usually the structure of the group discussion is such that it allows 30 minutes. Depending on the infrastructure of the venue, the candidates are asked to sit in circular, rectangular, or U-shaped arrangements. Candidates may either select their seats or they would be allocated seats with their names written. Now, the group discussion actually takes place in the presence of a panel who is going to judge them. The panel would comprise of people from the HR department as well as the technical executives of a particular company. The rules of the group discussions are explained after the initial introduction of the panelists is done to the participants. Now, once the topic is assigned, the discussion is either viewed directly or from behind the screens, that is, with the help of a web camera. The panel would provide some time for thinking, and then when the panel signals, the group discussion would start, and when the panel signals, the group discussion would stop. Usually, this 30 minutes, which is allocated to a group, is divided in the following manner. The first 10 minutes are given for thinking. Here, you can either note down information in your book. Remember, you are not supposed to use your mobile phone. Whatever ideas you have, you are supposed to note down either in a piece of paper if the company provides. If not, then you have to mentally keep a note of it. Then there would be 20 minutes of discussion, 5 minutes of conclusion, and 5 minutes of feedback from the panelists. Next, so how do they evaluate the candidate? How do they evaluate the candidate? So please mark this is an important question from the exam point of view. How do they evaluate? So these are the criterias on which The company evaluates a candidate in a group discussion. So, which are the criteria? Criteria number one, knowledge; two, team spirit; three, communication skills; four, leadership skills; and five, group behavior. Knowledge. Uh, what do they check over here? They check your depth and range of knowledge and how you attach information, or how do you present the information that you know. The contribution of ideas should be original. The formation of sentences should be original, appealing, and interesting. It should be convincing enough how you present the information with reference to the topic given. Here, what they are looking for is they are looking for creative problem solving abilities, and that is what they will see in the candidate. All right, and that is what they will see in the candidate. So, a candidate, if you want to stand out from the crowd, you need to come up with divergent and offbeat solutions. Next, communication skills. And communication skills, they are going to look at the four basic things, that is active listening, clarity of thought and expression, appropriate body language, and appropriate language. So listening is a very important thing that most of us avoid. We don't listen. Why is listening important? Listening is important because you can give up your point, or you can talk about your point in connection to what the other person has said. Right? You can talk about it from the point of view of the other person as well. What did the other person say? Next, you may reflect upon the views of other people and then you may form your views. This becomes very helpful when you are a little confused about what to speak in the topic that is given to you. When you listen carefully to others, you might come up with ideas of your own. Next, clarity of thought and expression. Here, they are going to check your ability to convince people. Correct use of tone, voice, and articulation is very important. You should be very lively, cheerful, and energetic throughout the group discussion. The energy level should not fall. Appropriate language. It means that your language should be error free. Pronunciation errors, grammatical errors, formation errors, etc. Be direct, clear, and precise when we speak. Remember, useless information and beating the bush is not a good idea in professional setups. Try to keep the language simple and unambiguous. That is, it should be clear, not unclear. Make less use of jargons. You should not use jargons much. Try to use simplified words, or if you have to use a jargon, try to explain the meaning of that word. Complication does not create an impact. Usually it creates a lot of confusion. Instead, keep your content strong. Try to create a positive impact on the people with the help of your content and not with the help of your complicated use of words. Next, appropriate body language. As I have been mentioning throughout unit number 1, that it's not only about what you speak but also about what you not speak. Right? So your body language should be appropriate. You should have appropriate facial expressions, gestures, postures, etc. Your eye contact should be proper so that it displays the confidence that you have. Control your emotions, because remember, this is a group discussion, it's not a debate. There's a very thin line of difference between a group discussion and a debate. So this is not a debate, it is a group discussion. So look at it as a discussion, healthy discussion that takes place between some individuals. Next, team spirit. Remember, it's a group discussion, not an individual speech. So see to it that every group member is participating and given equal amount of time to participate. It should not be just one person who's speaking all the time. Try to shuffle around when you are speaking. Moreover, when you are sharing, you are supposed to tell there are your views, your opinions. There's not, at times views and opinions can be quite different from what is the reality. That can be fine. Active interest in the group discussion could be displayed by inputs that you give at regular intervals of time and not in the very first go only. Which means in the first 5 minutes you speak whatever you have to, and then you sit quiet throughout the group discussion is what is not expected. That is what you should not do. What should you do? You should give some information in the first 5 minutes, let's say 1 minute or 2 minutes. Then after some time you give some other information. That is how it works into a discussion. Next, leadership qualities. A candidate who both possesses functional as well as coordinating abilities is what is expected. You should not only have one qualities but a fine balance of 2 or 3 qualities that are mentioned over here. That is mental and physical energy, emotional stability, objectivity, communication skills, emotional intelligence, etc. Next, group behavior. Kindly behave properly in the group. Remember, it's a group discussion. Try to involve participants who are not that active. Right? Try to involve participants who are not that active by asking them to participate or trying to pull them into the discussion by knowing their opinion, by asking them to speak on their opinions. If there are people at times in discussion, it so happens that people go off track. If such things happens, you as a person uh, possessing good leadership skills could try to bring the discussion back to track. That there are 3 types of leaders. We do not want a leader who's authoritative or amiable, but we'd like to have a leader who's democratic. So which one of these is not a part of the evaluation and analysis of group discussion as a part of the selection process? Knowledge, team spirit, leadership skills, and reading skills. You may type your answers in the chat box. Rohit, you are absolutely correct. It is reading skills. Remember, I have never mentioned reading skills over here because you are going to talk. It is all about technical communication, right? Organizational group discussion. Please mark this as an important question from the exam point of view. So there are three major techniques of organizational group discussion, which is known as brainstorming, nominal group, and Delphi. Now, each of these will have subtypes as well. The first is a brainstorming technique. This technique is actually used for generating a variety of ideas and perspective. You look at the term, it is called brain, that is the mind, and storming, there's a storm, right? A hurricane. So a lot of ideas, a lot of things happening at the same time. Here, usually people involved from various different disciplines come together and they are involved, and it is actually this kind of a discussion is more likely to generate ideas which are unexpected and connections and give solutions that are different from the rest. What are the steps of the brainstorming technique? A group of 6 to 12 people sit around a table. The group leader would give the problem and then open the suggestion or the time for giving suggestions. Here, usually the members are supposed to note down as many solutions as possible without discussing within the given times. Now, then each of the solution is individually taken and discussed later on and analyzed. Now, there are two types of further subtypes of the brainstorming technique, that is the storyboarding technique and the lotus bloom technique. Storyboarding technique, here major issues are identified and each of them is brainstormed further, breaking into pieces, a chunk by chunk or piece by piece. This kind of technique, the storyboarding technique of group discussion, is usually used to resolve complex problems. Next, you have the lotus bloom technique. And the lotus bloom technique, it is similar to the lotus flower. There is one centerpiece which is surrounded by 8 petals. Here, yes, somebody has raised a hand. Do we have a query? Fine. It is similar to the lotus, which has one centerpiece and 8 petals that surround it. Here, you take one center idea and you give 8 solutions to it. Now, each of these 8 solutions can become a centerpiece and you can further have 8 solutions. This continues until the participants are unable to generate ideas further or until there is a solution which arises over here. Then you have got the nominal group technique. Here, discussion is not permitted during a decision making process, though every group member is physically present, but they also operate independently. What are the steps for the nominal group technique? The steps for the nominal group technique are: the problem is presented, and each and every member, before they start the discussion, they are given some time to note down their own ideas. Now, after the ideas are noted down, each and every member is given time to present his ideas, and his and her ideas are recorded. Now, the group would further discuss that idea for clarity and evaluate. Now, each member would silently order or rank their ideas from 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, whatever is given. One idea, this idea should be number 1, then 2, 3. And then final decision is taken by determining the idea with the highest rank. All right. The advantage over here is that though you are physically present with 10 other people, you are still having the freedom to make your decisions or give your solutions on your own. Last is the Delphi technique. The Delphi technique is more complex and time consuming. It is a little similar to nominal group technique, but you never meet the members of the group with whom you are discussing physically or face to face. The steps here are: what happens is the members are identified and each member is informed about the problem through a set of carefully designed questionnaires. I'll also give you an example of a questionnaire. Do not worry. Each member would write down and fill the questionnaire independently and anonymously. That is, you do not know who is the other person who's writing or giving solutions or answering the questions in the questionnaire along with you. The result of the questionnaires are then compiled, and then they can be again, uh, after the compilation of the results are sent to the members who participated in the filling of the questionnaire. Based on the answers of questionnaire number 1 and the results of question number 1, a second questionnaire can be prepared. Then the same step can be repeated. Then again a third questionnaire can be prepared, and then same steps can be repeated until and unless you get a solution to your problem. These steps can be repeated as often as required. This is an example of a questionnaire. You might have filled a similar kind of a questionnaire when you visited restaurants before the situation of this pandemic. You might have visited restaurants. They ask you to give feedback. They have a feedback book. It is something like that. So this is the most simplest example of a questionnaire which you can keep in your mind. So a method for generating a variety of ideas and perspectives is called dash. The Delphi method, the brainstorming method, the nominal group method, or all of the above. You may type your answers in the chat box. Three correct answers, Rohit, Faz, and Arjun. You're absolutely correct. It's not all of them, it's brainstorming. Why? Because remember, I said brainstorming to generate a lot of ideas. Brain and storm, a storm in your brain or mind. Right? Next, the do's and don'ts of group discussions, things that you should do and you should not do in a group discussion. So, do's of participating in a group discussion. Please listen to the subject that is given to you or the topic that is assigned to you carefully. You should put your thoughts on a piece of paper. Remember, you're not supposed to search on a mobile, but whatever comes to your mind, you may always note it down in a piece of paper. In case you know very well about the subject, in case you know very well about the subject, you should start the discussion. It gives you a positive or a plus point. Now at times it would so happen that you might not know anything about the subject, so you should first listen to what others have to say, and then you can give out your own points about it. Remember, when you speak or give your opinion, support your information with facts and figures. Support your information with facts and figures. Instead of contributing everything at the same time, instead of giving 4 or 5 opinions at the same time, try to make contributions of 25 to 30 seconds after every 4 or 5 minutes, so that it can be considered as contributions throughout the group discussion instead of only contribution in the initial or the middle part, or the ending of the group discussion. Remember, as I said, it's a group discussion and it's not a speech. So remember to see that everybody gets a chance to speak, and not only you are the only one who's speaking. Speak politely and pleasantly. Respect the contribution of other members. Even if you do not support their opinion, it is fine. At places when you have to disagree, disagree politely by saying, whatever you're saying must be true, but I have a different opinion to put forward. That is how you can disagree with the person. Summarize the discussion of the group if you do not reach a common conclusion. The don'ts: do not initiate the discussion if you are not sure about what you have to speak in the topic that is assigned to you. Do always let one person who is speaking, let the person finish before you start speaking away. So do not interrupt the person and snatch somebody's chance to speak. You should not argue and shout in a group discussion. As I said, the name suggests it's a discussion and not a debate. Do not keep on looking and staring at other group members or the evaluators or the panelists who are there. Do not try to take the group discussion out of track or off track, and give irrelevant information. Remember, in workplace scenarios, you are not supposed to give more information. Quality is what matters and not quantity. So speak quality information and not quantity information. Avoid pausing with negative body gestures or negative body language. Do not mention statistics that are erratic, that is, you are not sure about it. You don't say that somewhere around 60% is not how you speak information, figures or facts in a group discussion. Do not display low confidence with shaky voices, trembling hands. You are all shaking and shivering. Don't do that. Do not try to dominate the discussion by always cutting everybody other's statement in speaking. Yes, I told you that you should see that every member speaks. You try to make other members speak, but don't put others in embarrassment or embarrassing situations by asking them to speak even if they don't want to speak. Okay, you can ask a person once or twice, but not more than that. So now we have a topic for group discussion. Uh, what you need to do over here is, there are 2 topics that are given. You need to jot down the points for any one topic of your choice for next lecture. We can have this in the next lecture. Please note down the topics. I'm giving you a few minutes to note the topics. I hope you have taken a note for the topics of group discussion. Now, do you have any doubts, questions, or queries about it? Do you have any questions, queries, doubts for group discussion? Please remember the topics and just jot down your points. We'll arrange something in the next session. We'll be doing a group discussion there. If you don't have any questions or queries, we can move on to our quiz. There you go. I have pasted the link for today's quiz in the chat box. You may start attempting your quiz now. I can see seven of you have already completed the quiz. We'll wait a few more minutes for our friends.
So I could see that everybody has completed their quiz. That's nice. Now, when we meet in the next lab session, when we meet in the next lecture session, you need to come and come decided with a book from the list of books that has been given to us in the syllabus. We are supposed to do an assignment called the book review assignment. All right, we are supposed to do an assignment which is known as the book review assignment. You need to complete that in the next week. So just select a book. The list of books is given in the syllabus of ETC. The list of books is given in the syllabus of ETC. Please look up the list and decide upon a book before the next session. Okay. One, two. I hope you have completed your course era course, and you need to submit a certificate. If you have not done it, please let me know with an email. Drop an email to my official email ID, and so that I can know how many of you have completed and how many is remaining. And third reminder, you need to submit your cover letter and resume. The deadline has gone, but still I have kept it open for this week. Kindly submit your cover letter and resume. It is a part of an assignment for the subject ETC. In case of any queries, please get in touch with me, drop an email or a message so that whatever queries you have, we can solve it. Right? By the time you were taking your quiz, I've already marked your attendance. Fine. By the time you were taking your quiz, I've already marked your attendance. So that's done. Do not worry about that part. So with this, we call it a day over here. Thank you, class. Have a nice day. Thank you.